Today's topic, how to keep a guy interested. Today I want to share specific techniques with you and specific steps that you can take in order to keep a guy interested. And the first tip I have for you is to ask him the questions that other women are afraid to ask him. Most women, or let's say most people in general, that's true for men and women, always want to play it safe on the first date and also on the second date, and sometimes even on the third date. We just want to talk about topics that are safe to talk about, and we don't want to dig deep. But when it comes to making a guy interested in you and then eventually making a guy obsessed with you, it's important that you activate emotions in him, that you basically create an emotional response. Because when it comes to you attracting him, yes, he's attracted to your physical appearance, and that's also something I will discuss in this episode. But the emotional connection, especially when you are looking for a guy for a long-term relationship and maybe even a marriage-minded guy, the emotional connection is way more important. And unfortunately, a lot of guys don't feel this emotional connection to a woman on a date because both parties are playing it safe. But what if you are the first woman he goes on a date with and you ask him about his biggest fears, you ask him about his most painful failures, and you ask him about his bucket list, you ask him about his dreams, about his goals, about his vision, about what he wants to achieve in life, about what he failed at, and about what he's good at, what he still has to learn. I mean, you don't have to talk about all the things I just mentioned, but if you make an effort and you dig deeper, and you then, it's a little bit like digging for gold, and the gold is in this case the emotions that you create with your questions. And the deeper you dig, and the more emotionally charged questions you ask him, the more likely it is that he will fall for you, because then he feels a strong emotional bond. And I've talked to a lot of men about that, and there are actually no topics or no questions that are too off limit. Men appreciate women who dig deeper because it shows that you have an interest, and I mean a really, really strong interest, and this alone makes us totally attracted to you. But if you then also ask these kind of questions and you create this emotional response in him, then you're winning. And you're also winning when you show an interest in him and his life. Men are very simple creatures. I mean, you already know that. But even when it comes to attraction, when a woman shows interest in us, we are more likely to be attracted to this woman. That's just how it is. One of my friends always says, I like women who like me. And I know that sounds really simple and a little bit stupid when you think about it, but it's the truth. When a woman shows an active interest in us, we like her more. And that's why this dating advice that you often hear from dating coaches for women of playing hard to get, that doesn't work. I can tell you from my own experience, from my coaching clients, it does not work. A lot of women falsely assume that it works because they think that men think like women, but men don't think like women. Men think completely different, and what attracts women to men is completely different than what attracts men to women. And men are attracted to women who actively show an interest in them and who actively pursue them. And if you show an interest in him by asking these deep questions that I just shared with you, and by in general just showing an interest in his life and his hobbies, then he will be attracted to you. And he will be even more attracted to you if you make him feel like a hero when he's with you. If you, for example, compliment his achievements, if you tell him that he has certain qualities that you are actually looking for and that you respect and that you appreciate in a man, and you then give him the feeling that he doesn't have to choose between his hero's journey and between you, then he will be interested in you. And now you might be saying, a hero's journey? I mean, come on, I'm not dating Luke Skywalker. Yes, that's true, but every man dreams about being a hero in his own life. And this is something that's so important, and that's why it's also so important that you know how to activate his hero instinct so that you don't allow him to then get interested in another woman who knows how to activate his hero instinct. You might be prettier, you might be more intelligent, you might be more caring, but if another woman knows how to activate his hero instinct, he will go with this woman and he will leave you for this woman. And if you want to avoid that, and if you want to have the power to activate his hero instinct, then you can click on the link in the description and either watch the video on this page or read this page and find out more about how you can activate his hero instinct. And put your phone away and have a conversation. That's something I still vividly remember. When I was on the first date with my girlfriend, she put her phone out of her handbag, she did something with her phone, and then she put it back into her handbag. And I asked her, "What are you doing?" And she just said, "Oh, I was just putting it on silent because now we're talking." And that was such an amazing, it was an amazing gesture. And it was such a feeling of relief because, to be honest, I've been on dates before with women who seemed to be more interested in their smartphone than me. And when I then called them out for playing with their phone all the time, they weren't even aware of it. And maybe you are not aware of it because we are nowadays so addicted to our smartphones. And it can often, not just often, I think all the time, it can appear very disrespectful if you, for example, play with your phone or answer texts, even though you might not really be aware of it, that you do it, and you might not consider it as a bad thing. But put yourself in his shoes. If you were on a date with a guy who would text all the time or play with his phone or just look at his phone, then you would also get the feeling, is he texting other women? Is he just looking at his phone because he's bored? Does he want to know what time it is? Does he want to get rid of me? So that's why when you want to keep a guy interested, keep your phone in your handbag and prove to him that you are the loving and caring woman he always dreamed of. And this can be little things. You can, for example, write him a little sticky note with a motivating message. That's something that I always tell my Skype coaching clients to do. And if you ever want to book a Skype coaching session with me, then I will also tell you to do that because it's so easy, so fun, and so effective. If you, for example, start dating a guy and you simply write him in the morning or just via text, you can either do it on a piece of paper or in a text message, a simple motivating quote or a motivating message. This alone can make him feel like, yes, she's on my team, she's my ride or die chick basically, and she's there for me, she supports me. And if you do that on a regular basis, he will fall for you more and more. And then tell him about all the places you would love to see, and then encourage him to go there. When it comes to keeping a guy interested, it's important that you show him that you are the adventurous, spontaneous woman that he wants. Of course, only if he's also an adventurous and spontaneous guy. I mean, if you're dating a guy who's completely boring and who just wants to play video games and drink beer all night, well, then you might want to really book a Skype coaching session with me, get rid of that guy, and finally attract a high-quality man who's successful, ambitious, and who wants to achieve something in life, and who wants to go on adventures with you. And if you want to find out more about Skype coaching with me, then you can click on the second link in the description. And if you then also dress up for him, that's really effective when it comes to making him interested. However, it's not just effective because men are visual, and yes, we are. Men are, in fact, very visual creatures. However, what you communicate with it is way more important than making him feel like, I have a hot girlfriend, I have a hot girlfriend. It's way more important what you communicate by doing that. Because when you don't dress up for a guy, you communicate, I don't want to look good for you, I don't really care about turning you on, and I don't really care. But if you dress up for him, you communicate, I care, I want to look good for you, I want to turn you on, and this will keep him interested. And another thing you can do to keep a guy interested is to do some research about his interests and surprise him with your knowledge. Yes, men are visual, but when it comes to finding a woman for a long-term relationship, other qualities are way more important than your physical appearance, even though I'm sure that you are a very beautiful woman. But when it comes to a long-term relationship for a lot of men, other qualities are more important. For example, if you are compatible and if you also show an interest in his interests, and if you do some research about his interests, even though you have no idea about the topic, just a little bit of research, you communicate so much. You communicate you care, you communicate you want to find out more about him, you communicate that you want to be a part of his life, and all these things make him more interested in you. And if you then combine this with activating his hero instinct, then he will be obsessed with you and devoted to you, and he will only think about you. And if you want to find out more how to activate his hero instinct, you can click on the first link in the description. And be so nice to his friends that they want to date you. And this is something that most men won't admit, but it's true for all men. I know it because it's true for me, and I know it because it's true for every man I've ever talked to about this subject. When a guy has the feeling that his friends are totally into you because you're so nice, so friendly, and just such an amazing woman, he will feel amazing. No, he won't be angry, he will be happy. It will be a happy feeling of jealousy, because this proves that his girlfriend is the most amazing girlfriend in his social circle, and that's you. And when he has the feeling that his friends are totally into you, or when his friends actually tell him, hey, your girlfriend is amazing, I wish I had a girl like her, that's the stuff that makes him fall for you. And if you communicate that you are financially independent. And this is especially important if you want to date a successful man, because as a quite successful man myself, I mean, I'm not overly successful, but I'm also not very unsuccessful. I know for a fact that a lot of successful men appreciate it when a woman is financially independent, because as a successful guy, you are always afraid that a woman only dates you because of your money. And if you then show an interest in your finances and in your retirement and talk about topics such as investing and finances, this can be very, very attractive for a guy. I mean, I still remember when I was on the first date with my girlfriend, or was it on the second date? I don't even remember. But I remember that we talked about it, where I told her about my passion for FIRE, which is the Financial Independent Retire Early movement. And she was totally into that. And that made me totally into her. And don't be afraid to initiate lovemaking and kisses. Yes, kisses. Kisses are so underrated. But often in a relationship, or even at the beginning of the dating process when you're not a couple yet, it's often the guy who makes the first move and who's expected to make the first move. And that's okay. Every now and then he should make the first move. But what if you, the next time you meet the guy you have a crush on, walk up to him and just give him a passionate kiss out of nowhere, and he will just look at you and go, wow. He will love that. And he will love it even more if you continue to encourage him to talk about his goals and his dreams. If you, for example, tell him, I could listen to you talking about your goals all day, or tell me more about your business, tell me more about your career goals, or you ask him, why do you want to achieve this? If you encourage him to talk about his goals and dreams, he will make you a part of his goals and his dreams. Especially if you use the techniques that you discover if you click on the link in the description and find out more about how you can activate his hero instinct. And if you enjoyed watching this video, if you liked it, please give it a big thumbs up and leave a comment in the comment section below. Share your opinion, share your thoughts. I would love to hear from you. And I would love it even more if you would hit the subscribe button and smash that notification bell so that you get notified whenever I release a new video for you. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video.